A car of mass 1800 kilograms traveling at a velocity of 20 meters per second strikes a smooth vertical wall horizontally. If the car bounces off the wall at a velocity of 14 meters per second, calculate the impulse of the car. Before we actually start to calculate, let me use these diagrams to depict what we are trying to see here. So we have a car. So this is before collision, and here we would have after collision. Now this car before collision was 1800 kilograms. Even when it hit the wall, it's still gonna be 1800 kilograms. It's not gonna look as pretty as the one that I have here. In fact, it would be crushed up a bit. And this here depicts our wall. So what else do we have? We have a velocity 20 meters per second. So what I can do here, I could put U, which stands for initial velocity, is 20 meters per second. And this velocity is traveling in the direction towards the wall. I know it's traveling towards the wall because if it bounces into the wall, whatever initial velocity it had to be going towards the wall. Whether the car was in reverse, whether it was forward, whether it was sideways, the whole point is the car is going towards the wall. Now in the next one it says if the car bounces off the wall at a velocity of 14 meters per second. So this is our car after collision. So we imagine that it hit this wall. After it hit this wall, it bounced back off. Imagine our car was moving at 20 meters per second. After a while, it hit the wall, boom. And then when it bounced off the wall, creating an impulse, after it hit the wall, it went back in the direction it came at 14 meters per second. Therefore, I can say that the final velocity that we know of would have been negative 14 meters per second. This is because the car started to go back to the direction it initially came from. We need to calculate the impulse. So the formula for impulse is equal to change in momentum. Momentum is actually equal to mass times velocity. So fun fact, it's written as P because from Latin, the word for attack in Latin is spelled like. Now this word you see here literally means to go to or to seek. So this part of the word, this IM is a prefix, but pater is to go to or to seek. So this is why we get a P for momentum, even though momentum is spelled with an M. Just a little fun fact. So back to our question, we say now that impulse is equal to the change in momentum. So therefore, we would be having the momentum after minus the momentum before. So what we would have here is 1800 times final velocity, which we had was negative 14, minus 1800 times the initial velocity, which was 20 meters per second. This would be equal to So the impulse of the car is equal to negative 61,200 kilogram meters per second.